God is looking for you today, and he wants to know what you go do. Are you going to give up along the way? Or you want one of these microwavable blessings, and you're saying that now I lay me down to sleep and prepare the Lord my soul. Or you going to say to the Lord, I'm going to stay on my knees until change comes. Lord, I'm not going to move from this place. I'm going to be steadfast, unmovable, always abiding in the work of the Lord. I know that I may not be perfect, but I'm not what I used to be. I'm going to stay right here till a change comes. Watch what she says in her conversation. She cried. She worried him. She didn't let up. The disciples now are saying, send her away. How many people done come into your life and say, you ain't no good? How many people done told you you'll never be anything? You'll never amount to anything, and it always seemed like it may be true because you get to a certain place and then you fall back down. You rise up, you fall back down. You get a job, you get fired. You think this is the right man, and then you find out he is nothing, no good. You get this woman, and she turns out to be, come on, you know what I'm talking about. But then what happened? She didn't give up. Watch this in Matthew the 15th. And then she goes on and she says to him, and now she cries out, and then she says, Jesus says these key words to her. He says, but he answered and said, now he speaks back to her. The conversation of her crying out, the conversation of her saying that I need help. Now Jesus didn't say a word, but now he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He was defining who he was called for. He was saying that this is who I'm coming to help. I'm coming to help those that won't give up. I'm coming to help those that are part of the flock. But I didn't come to you because, woman, you just came up to me. But because of something you did, it's going to cause a change to happen in your life. You may not have grown up on the other side of town. You may not have had the best things, but God said that because you coming to me, I'm going to give you everything that you never had. He said because this woman worried him, because she didn't give up, because she persevered, God said, I have something in store for her. And now watch this. When he said that to her, this is where the conversation changed. Then came she, and she worshiped him, saying, sometimes we got to get on our knees. Sometimes we got to fall out before the Lord, and we go worship him. And we say, Lord, I'm not going to move this place. I'm not getting up here. We got to be like Jacob said, and I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to hold on because I see that I need a change. When she did that, something happened in the spiritual realm. Something happened in her life because she said, I'm not going to give up. She got to a place where she said, I'm tired of being tired. I want to ask you today, are you tired of being tired? Are you at a place where you're telling God, Lord, enough is enough. I done been through too much to stop here. I done had too much taken away from me to let go now. But then she gets to a place where she falls down and she worships him. She worships him. The disciples talking, send her away. Could you imagine what did that do to her mental state? Can you imagine what she felt like telling people that she ain't worthy to get what she is asking for? Can you imagine people passing her by day in and day out? And she's saying that my daughter, my child, I have a need. Help me. I'm begging, I'm crying out. This is your testimony today. I'm crying out, God, because I can't take no more. I need help. Is this your testimony? I cried that cry many of days, many of weeks, many of months, many years. I just tell God I'm tired. If people know what I was doing and what I was into, I would be embarrassed. But then one day, my eyes opened. The pain of the shame had went away. I said, I don't care about people knowing what I did, the mistakes that I made time and time again. I tell you all the time, I'm not standing here because I'm perfect, but I'm standing here because I did not give up. And God said, one day, I'm going to allow the light to shine on you. This is Paul's testimony. On his way to do wrong. And when he got to a certain place on his way to Damascus, you read it when you get time in Acts the 9th chapter. The Bible says a light shined from heaven. Paul falls to the ground. Then he asked him, he said, Lord, who are you? Didn't know because of the things that he did. The Bible tells us that we crucify Christ of flesh. Every time we commit sin, every time we do wrong, every time we let negative words come out of our mouth, every time we let our conversation not be exalting to him, we putting him back on the cross. And he says, Saul, why do you persecute my people? Why do you do these things? And at that moment, the conversion came. He was blinded. He goes down. You read it. To Damascus. Cornelius lays his hands on him and his eyes open up and his life changed from that point forward. Today, I want you to understand this, that your life is about to change. You're about to embark on something in your life that's going to cause you to do things that you've never done before, to go places that you've never been before because of the changes in your life. And when she got this, let's go back to Matthew the 15th chapter. And she gets to the place and she cries out and she worshiping and she said, Lord, help me. And watch this. And then she goes on and then he says, but he answered and said, is it not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs? Now here's where the change takes place. And she says these words to him. And she said, Lord, that's the truth. But even the dogs eat the crumbs which falls from the master's table. And watch what Jesus said. Then Jesus answered and said unto the woman, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Y'all hear me? The daughter was made whole on that very hour. Do y'all hear what I'm telling you? The daughter was made whole on that very hour. Her conversation changed the outlook of her life. Her conversation caused her to get what she needed from God. She didn't give up. She didn't let what people said about her, how they tried to run her down. But her conversation caused her to get her blessing. Today, I want you to change your conversation. I want you to get into a place where God will start using the words that come out of your mouth. And all we got to do is get to a place where we're going to worship him. Now I want you to go here. Follow me to the book of James, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to go from the 3rd chapter in the 13th verse. And I'm almost closing here. In the book of James, the 3rd chapter, it says, who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. He said that anybody, you think you're so smart, but let me show you what a good conversation would do. Let me show you how this conversation would change your life. Let me show you how things would happen. Go with me to the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, in the 11th verse. What your conversation will do. You think you're smart, you think you're all that in a bag of chips, but watch what Peter tells us. And now he tells us in 2 Peter 3 and 11, seeing then that all of these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? I'm going to read it again. Seeing then that all of these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Showing us that our conversation got to be holy. If you want change, change your conversation. You know, my dad put out this book a few years ago. Change your thoughts and you will change your world. It's time to change that conversation. And I'm closing, watch this. Give me the book of 1 Peter 1 and 15. And when you see that what happens when change comes, our conversation has to be changed. Our we say out of our mouth has to be changed. Don't let negative words come out of your mouth. Don't entertain the wrong people. Don't get into enticing conversations where now you're acting like other people. You're trying to be like other people. You're trying to do things like other people. But God said that I'm going to change your conversation, and your conversation is going to bring me before you, and it's going to allow everything around you to change. It's going to allow your life to change. It's going to allow your situations to change. It's going to allow your family to be changed, because some people are coming up out of this. I'm tired of living my life the same way. I'm tired of doing the same thing. But God allowed my conversation to change. Watch this in the book of 1 Peter 1 and 15. And it says, but as ye which have called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. Your conversation now is getting to a place where you're saying, God, that's not me. I'm not going to sit there and entertain people that is talking mess and junk. I'm not going to sit there and be on the phone talking about things that I don't need to be talking about. I'm not going to sit there and entertain people that I shouldn't be entertaining, because I want my conversation holy. I want my life to be holy. I want the way that I please God to be holy, because my conversation is changing. I'm not sitting up talking about lust. I'm not sitting there talking about lying. I'm not sitting there talking about deceit, because my conversation is changing. And when you start changing that conversation, watch this, give me the 18th verse and I'm getting out of here. And what he says, it says, for as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things. God did not change you because of what you did wrong, but he changed you because of what you said that you're ready to do right. And he says that as silver and gold from your vain conversation received by tradition from your fathers. When you look at what you used to do and you look at the people who you used to entertain and who you used to hang out with, nothing happens but until you start changing that conversation. You start using those words and say that I'm going to start speaking holy. I'm going to start acting holy. I'm going to start doing things holy, because God, my life has changed. And I said one more time, I'm not here because I was perfect. I'm not here because I didn't make any mistakes. Because when I was messed up from the floor up, I would come into church and I would be crying. I was like that woman in the book of Matthew. She said she was begging to be delivered, but she didn't give up when Christ did not answer her. He did not speak a word, but she said, Lord, I'm going to worship you because I need something from you. Just because I stand here today, I didn't give up. I'm telling you, don't give up. I'm telling you, don't give in, because God has something in store for you. God is about to bring you up from the muck and the clay, and he's about to set you in your wealthy place. You're about to get up from that place. You're about to get to a place where God said, because of your conversation, because you didn't give up, because you didn't throw in the towel, he said, I'm bringing you out, because now it's your time for your change. And I'm telling you today that you are at the best place of your life, because you went through the initial stage. You went through the process, but now God is bringing you out, and now you at your season for change. You're about to come out, and today is about to be the first day of the rest of your life. You're about to get to a place where everything is going to look different. You're about to get to a place where everything that you see is different. You're about to get to a place that your life is about to get to a place where God is saying, you are here now. You understand now. You went through the fire. You went through the flood, but now I'm bringing you out in your wealthy place. Somebody shouted out with me today and said, change, because my conversation is not like it used to be. I'm not doing the same things that I used to do, because now I see change. I see it before me. I can reach out for it, because when Jesus said, he said that it is not meat to give that which to those that are like dogs. But she said, yeah, Lord, even the dogs eat the crumbs from the master's table. Understand who you are. Understand where God has brought you from. You may not be worthy. You may not feel like you deserve it. But just like this woman perseveres, she didn't give up. And he says, because of your faith, because you worshiped me, and because you didn't give up, immediately her daughter was made whole. I pray you were blessed by this message today. And you understand the power of your conversation. You're understanding that you're going to get away from people with that negative talk. You're going to stop enticing yourself and coming around and doing things that you shouldn't do. And knowing that today is your day for change. God bless you. And just like my father, he says these words, I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it.